Growing up, I was always this super scrawny, skinny, insecure kid, and I really didn't have anything going for me in terms of self-improvement and going to the gym, and I never really understood what it was. I was super athletic and I was always playing sports, but I was only skin and bone.
Hell no, man.
And it wasn't until I got to high school that I was introduced to the gym, that I was introduced to this weight training and building muscle. And even throughout high school up to my junior year, I was this super scrawny kid. Even with my passion for the gym, lifting weights every day, trying to get stronger, I was staying skinny. And that was because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to genuinely bulk, or I didn't know how to put on any type of muscle. So I continued to work out without eating enough food, and it became unhealthy. So I kept working out, and without knowing it, I was unintentionally cutting weight. I was losing this weight, and it became to the point where you could see every ounce of muscle on my body. Here's the picture that I was insanely lean. It was honestly unhealthy. And it wasn't until then that I realized that, I needed to bulk, I needed to gain muscle. So from being that super scrawny and insecure kid, I'm here now with this muscle on my body, and I feel good with the way that I look. I've been through a couple of bulks, and with all the knowledge I know now, if I could go back to my younger self and tell him everything, I would. So with that being said, here are the biggest mistakes going from skinny to muscular. Number one is not counting my calories. Now, whenever I didn't know what a bulk was, I didn't know you had to eat calories. I didn't know calories and food was the thing that made you big. And I know that sounds stupid, but I was so clueless to the fact that if I just ate more food, then I would gain more weight, I would gain and put on more muscle. So as us skinny kids, we would always cope and use the term, oh, I have a fast metabolism. My metabolism is just fast. That's why I can't gain weight. But the real problem is everybody's appetite is different. So to me as a skinny kid, I could be eating 1,300 calories a day, which is nothing. And I would think that is so much food. I would be telling everybody, oh, but I'm eating so much until my stomach hurts and I'm stuffing myself every single meal. Everybody that eats a lot of food is different for every single person. So it wasn't until I actually started tracking and counting my calories that I realized I was eating way underneath my surplus and what I was supposed to be bulking with. So the number one biggest mistake that I would go back and tell myself is to download MyFitnessPal. And no, I'm not sponsored, but this is just a way that you can track your calories. Tracking my calories allowed me to understand where I was on my bulk, how much food I needed to eat, and how much I actually needed to intake each and every day to slowly put on muscle. Tracking my calories allowed me to actually see how much food I was eating in terms of calories, in terms of protein, carbs, sugars, whatever it was. It allowed me to visually see that this is how much I needed to eat to put on muscle bit by bit, and this is exactly the place and the amount of calories that I needed to reach each day. So if you're a skinny kid, no, you don't have a fast metabolism. And sure, you may be eating a lot, but that's only a lot to you. So find out how much you need to be eating to bulk and count your calories and reach that goal every single day. Now this second one is honestly a game changer when it comes to bulking. And this second mistake is not eating high calorie foods. As a skinny kid, little Roman for breakfast would always eat fruit, or I would always eat cereal or a granola bar, or whatever it was, I would eat these low calorie foods. And I would always say that, oh, I'm eating so much, but that's only because it would make me full. I would be getting full off these low calorie foods, so the amount of calories that I had to reach was way up here, and I was way down here because of this. I would eat a couple pieces of bacon and maybe even an egg here and there, and I would think that was so much. But it wasn't until I actually started using these bulking cheat codes and going to Chick-fil-A and ordering this mac and cheese and fries on top of my meal, and actually eating high calorie foods with each individual meal, because I would eat such low calorie foods that it would make me full, but I was never actually getting the correct calorie intake that I needed to actually bulk. Can you imagine that I have 3 big meals, but there's one meal that has super low calorie foods and there's one meal that has super high calorie foods? Obviously the low calorie one and the high calorie foods are both gonna make you full, but only one is going to benefit you in terms of bulking and eating enough calories to actually put on muscle and put on mass. So when I actually started adding more high calorie foods when I go to a fast food place or whenever I'm eating dinner, that's whenever I actually saw my progress explode. And this last mistake has nothing to do with eating, but is not training hard enough. Because I realized that over the years, the training that you did last year was nothing compared to what you're doing now. Because everybody training and working out in the gym hard is hard to them, but maybe next year when you learn more about form and hypertrophy, the training that you're doing is way harder and way more intense than it was last year. So no matter where you're at, you're probably thinking that you're training super hard, but the odds are that you can train 10 times harder. A big one was I'd always max out like every other week because I would just get validated by these 1 rep maxes and seeing that I went up in weight. And maybe I'm building muscle because of this, because I'm getting stronger, but that was just honestly bringing me down. It was ruining my training, and I actually wasn't training hard because of this. Or maybe I wouldn't push to a complete failure after every set. I would always go to the 10 to 12 rep range with a certain amount of weight, and I wouldn't go up in weight each week, or I wouldn't actually train to complete failure. But it wasn't until I actually realized that I needed to start training to failure every absolute set if I wanted to see the most growth possible on this bulk, to gain muscle, to break down my muscle, to build it back up. So if you're skinny trying to go to muscular, train until failure. Train with high intensity and go up in weight each week, which is called progressive overload. You probably think that you're training hard enough, but I promise you're not. You can always train harder. So learn some more form techniques, learn how to push heavier weight, get stronger. Just learn more about scientific-based lifting or hypertrophy. Any lift that you do, make sure you're reaching complete failure. So these are the 3 biggest mistakes that I learned from going skinny to muscular. And if I could go back in time and tell my younger, skinny, insecure self, I would, because I would be far ahead of where I am now. And that's okay, because I've learned, because I've grown, and I've learned with the knowledge that I have about lifting and bulking now. So if you want to learn more about reaching the highest version of yourself on your gym journey, or journaling and meditating and just becoming the highest version of you on your self-improvement journey, I have a free self-improvement course in the description. It will be in my self-improvement community. Just join that. Surround yourself around like-minded people and blow up your gains in the gym. Just completely transform yourself and shave off your time on your self-improvement journey. Go ahead and join that community. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe. If not, subscribe anyways because it's free. Leave a comment. Tell me about your journey. Tell me about what you liked about the video, what you didn't. I love y'all boys, and I'm out. Peace.